is and what has been of the Ghana under-15 male team who took part in the third place playoff. Lawrence, kindly bring us up to speed on how it all went for the male team en route to becoming third placed, winners of the CAF championship, the CAF schools championship.
Thank you very much, Mr. Attoh. I think everything has been said. The boys, after losing their semi-final games, were a bit downhearted. However, they found things going smoothly for them this afternoon as they came from a goal down to beat Uganda by 2-1 and claim the bronze medal. They to the start that expected because just like they did in the semi-finals, they also conceded in the early minutes of that third place playoff game. And then things seemed to be going awkward for them. However, 2 second half goals from the team ensured that they were able to turn the table around and secure a medal for Ghana and bronze. The effects of such as far as this competition is concerned, because Ghana has never participated in this tournament, and we only got to play in the boys division by virtue of being host nation. So from being host nation to becoming medalists, that is something to be proud of for Kweku Danso and his team at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium so far.
What time are we expecting the final game for the males to take off? The men's or the boys, beg your pardon, the boys final to come off, and of course the girls final as well.
So at the moment, it's the girls' third place game that is ongoing between Morocco and then South Africa. After that, we will have the girls' final at 3 p.m. where Ghana will be playing host to Uganda in that division as well, because Uganda beat Morocco by 2-0 to secure a place in the final, while Ghana also defeated South Africa in a dramatic game. 3-2. That game ended. The final of the boys will be between Tanzania and then Senegal, two teams that have been very consistent in as far as this competition is concerned. Tanzania are defending champions, so in the girls division we are set to see a new winner, and Ghana is looking forward to becoming that winner, because just like the boys, they are playing in competition for the very first time, but they have been able to manage to reach the final of the competition, and they will look to crown it all by doing a host and a win.
Amazing stuff. Just before we wrap up from your end, Lawrence, tell me about this concept and how all these nations have embraced it and what the prospects are looking like from the kind of quality of football you've seen over the past couple of days there at the University of Ghana Stadium.
Yeah, it's very important, Nats, because as this tournament was introduced, the idea was to build the young talent from one stage to the other. And if you are talking about this, you are talking about grassroots football, you are talking about the U15s, the U17s, the U20s, all together to the senior side. And yesterday we saw a grassroots festival which involved children between the ages of below the ages of 12, playing football with the legends in Bayo and Amanda Dramini, Robert Idiaba. Show their confidence and let them realize that some of these things are possibilities there. They become dreams, but then in the end, if you are able to work towards it, it becomes a reality. For the players who have gotten the opportunity to play in this tournament, it's about rising to become the stars, because out of these players, you will have stars coming out of them. For Ghana already, you have Christian Ashapu, who has, at this age, at 15 years, played even for the under-17s and looks likely to be caught up into the U20 team. So it's a room that has no end, that has no limit for them. Some of them could go on to become the stars of the continent in some years ago, in some years to come, like Adjoa did. And on the side of this program as well, there was a young reporters workshop for the next generation of journalists. There was a workshop for young referees, young coaches, and all other aspects of the game, including safeguarding. So CAF has a vision to grow the next set of sports individuals that will come out of the continent. And I thought it's an initiative that should be applauded.
Amazing stuff there. So we will be coming to you later on, if the time will permit us, to give us more updates as regards what goes on in final games. Thank you so much. Lawrence Bedu is our correspondent for the ongoing CAF Schools Championship happening, final day happening at the University of Ghana Stadium. Let's do a bit of breaking news before we go into go back into the conversation around Thomas Partey and his prospects, or what the future is looking like for him at Arsenal following the recent chain of top-class performances and the resumed talks about him staying on at Arsenal beyond the end of this contract. So news coming in from our correspondents on ground at the Accra International Conference Centre indicates that lawyer Richard Akpokavi has been elected the new president of the Ghana Olympic Committee after polling 44 votes, beating Mr. Mike Agri, who had 19 votes in that election. So the new president of the Ghana Olympic Committee is Mr. Richard Akpokavi. He's a man who put himself up for it in the last encounter. It didn't go well. He lost to outgoing president Ben Nunu-Mensah, and now finally he gets to serve the Olympic movement here in Ghana as its president. Lawyer Richard Akpokavi elected as the Ghana Olympic Committee president. He polled 44 votes, and his contender, Mr. Mike Agri, polled 19 votes. Lawyer Richard Akpokavi is the new president of the Ghana Olympic Committee. We would also like to congratulate Ghana Baseball Association President Ernest Danso, who's been elected the third vice president of the Ghana Olympic Committee, and this was after he beat Mohamed Mahadi by 43 to 19 votes. So Mr. Ernest Danso, the third vice president of the Ghana Olympic Committee, was able to achieve this feat by polling 43 votes as against the 19 polled by Mohamed Mahadi. Well, more here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. You continue to send in your messages. We'll be sharing with others as we go along. And now I would bring the conversation to Bismarck Owusu-Bempah Ayala. Bismarck, just before we continue the conversation about Thomas Partey, we have a new president for the Ghana Olympic Committee. He will be replacing Ben Nunu-Mensah, who has taken a very graceful bow after serving for 2 terms. What immediately will be your expectations based on the experience and the run that we all know lawyer Richard Akpokavi to have had, in sports administration in Ghana?
It's quite simple. Our problem within the various federations under the Olympic Committee has always been funding, and without it, we are not able to even plan properly. So I am looking at. I didn't have the opportunity to look at his manifesto and look at his plans to, as it is, liaise with corporate Ghana and the government to raise funds for the various federations, but that will be his biggest job. How does he bring in a plan that is so attractive to convince governments and corporate Ghana to buy into the other federations and the kind of sports that they do, for them to push in a little bit of investment so that they can use those resources to plan at every federation level to resource the talents that we do have, to train and polish them to a world-class standard, for them to engage in high-level competitions and win as medals. So for me, it's basically a problem of fundraising, and I hope and wish him all the best in trying to get resources to develop the various federations under him. So we will say congratulations to him, and he's welcome to the job. We will offer him every media support that multimedia can offer him. We will be with him, guide and critique his policies as he ran the office of one of the most very, very, very important offices within the sporting industry. So we congratulate him and we wish him well.
Great stuff there. If you're just joining us, we're here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. A couple of things happening this weekend. With some of them, we have conclusion, and that is the ongoing elective congress, or the just ended elective congress of the Ghana Olympic Committee, happening at the Accra International Conference Center, where our correspondents have confirmed for us that the new president of the Ghana Olympic Committee is lawyer Richard Akpokavi. Lawyer Richard Akpokavi, he is making yet another attempt and has been successful this time. Now he beat Mr. Mike Agri, the immediate past president of the Ghana Golf Association, to this. Now he was able to get some 44 votes as against Mr. Mike Agri's 19 votes. So this obviously is going to spell a new era of leadership in the Ghana Olympic Committee and the Olympic movement here in Ghana. How we, get to present ourselves and get ourselves ready for various programs under the Olympic movement here in Ghana. All right, so let's do some more and bring you more updates. Now, the Ghana Under-15 boys team, who just finished third at the African Schools Championship after that comeback win over Uganda, are set to receive a cash prize of 150,000 US dollars. 150,000 US dollars. That is just amazing for them for pulling off that feat. So there we go. Ghana's Under-15 boys team received 150,000 US dollars for finishing third at the ongoing African Under-15 championship. The African Schools Championship. So there we have it going. Also, there's some more news coming in, and we are learning from the ground ongoing at the news conference of the Confederation of African Football. Of course, there's a news conference being addressed by the president of the Confederation of African Football, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, and he has just appointed Ghana's FA President Kurt Okreku as second vice president of the Confederation of African Football. Coming there from the ground. In a bit, we'll be reaching our correspondents on the ground as we bring you this mixed bag show. You do realize that today we're having different parts of the conversation to give you a cocktail of issues here on the Joy Sports Link. Well, the times always call for, these kinds of measures and these kinds of presentations. So we're glad that you're along with us here on the Joy Sports Link. So breaking news, 2 bits of breaking news. One of them gone by is that lawyer Richard Akpokavi is the new president of the Ghana Olympic Committee after the successful elective congress held at the Accra International Conference Center. Also, the latest coming in from the grounds indicate that the president of the Confederation of African Football has just announced that Ghana FA President Kurt Okreku is the second vice president of the Confederation of African Football. That sure is some good news for Ghana. There's no doubt about that. We'll be getting into that in a bit, but we'll do our best to get through to our correspondents on the ground so that they can bring us some of the reactions from ground. Okay, Coach Jima, you've been listening. I mean, we've had to break in with some news there. So here we go. Kurt Okreku has just been named the second vice president of the Confederation of African Football.
Well, it's good news for Ghana. He's a son of the land, and also very important that we aspire to be great black stars, as our anthem and our flag shows, red, gold, green with the black star. So in all aspects, it's very good news for Ghana football. We just hope that when in that position, you'll be able to influence also and charter the Anglophone cause, because of what we've known CAF over the last few years has been dominated by Francophone countries. And so when it comes to policies and decision making, we've seen how many Francophone countries always, taking the lead. And so with him being there, I think it's good for our football. It will spur him on. Hopefully, he'll be able to also have a positive effect on our football. We can't compare CAF position to the state of Ghana football, so that will be two different contrasts. But because he's a son of the land, where we should celebrate as Ghanaians and be happy that he's been in that position. and also not just being there, but to contribute to his quota to African football on that level, because Africa do needs intelligent minds and do need great people to lead our game. Now that we're producing even more talent than ever, we have to constantly make sure there are reforms in suiting our game and helping the young footballers come through. So it's a good news for Ghana football.
Great news for Ghana football indeed. I'm sure that Bismarck Owusu-Bempah also has a reaction on hearing this.
Yes, Nat. It's fantastic news for Ghana and then for Ghana football to see that the leader of your football is being recognized this way on the continent. Speaks volume of not only how Africa see Ghana in terms of football, but the recognition of the quality of the personnel that leads our football. Not long ago, it was Kwesi Nyantakyi along these corridors, and just after him, Kurt has also risen to that level, and that speaks volume of what we have in terms of the human resource that runs our football. We wish him the best. Since Dr. Mochiepe came, he has tried to revolutionize CAF. He has injected in a lot of business proposals. He has used his connections to get in a lot of sponsorship. He's running the game with a lot of monetary interest, because for him it is all about investing in the vision and getting people on board to assist put their money into competitions and all that. And he has been doing very, very well. So he will need people who are core football minds to also help him with the other side of the administration of football. And he thinks with together with the executive committee that Kurt comes in handy, and he will help with that kind of contribution to the executive council room by nominating him and he being accepted by the executive council. So we congratulate Kurt Okriku, and we wish him all the best. And then we hope that whatever it is that Ghana will get from his position, we will be able to at least bear that fruit when it comes. Not.
Well, amazing stuff there, Mr. Kurt Edwin Simeon Okriku, president of the Ghana Football Association, named second vice president of the Confederation of African Football. Of course, this comes after the then president, Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, also rose to become vice president, first vice president of the continental football body. We're still here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. Send in your messages. We're also with the full list of the elected officials of the Ghana Olympic Committee. Very shortly, we'll be sharing all of them with you. But key within this is the election of lawyer Richard Akpokavi as the president, the new president of the Ghana Olympic Committee. The election of the Ghana Olympic Committee just wrapped up at the Accra International Conference Center. As we speak, the president of the Confederation of African Football is also addressing a news conference, and that is where the news came in about Mr. Kurt Edwin Simeon Okriku's appointment as vice president or second vice president of the continental football body. That sure places a bigger responsibility on him in terms of football administration on the continent. Remember that Kurt Edwin Simeon Okriku is also the president of the West African Football Union Zone B. So 3 portfolios within African football, and that sure is going to spare him individually. And just as Coach Jima has said, this would mean a lot in terms of what it can pull to Ghana, and also what Anglophone Africa can do in terms of exerting influence within the corridors of football power, if I may put it that way, or the corridors of authority in football on the African continent. Send in your messages. In a bit, I'll be activating the phone line so that you can also join us with your thoughts. Now, so just before all of these bits of breaking news came in, we're discussing Thomas Partey and what would be expecting of him. Now, let me come back to you, Bismarck. you have also seen what has happened. I want you to tackle the element of the peace of mind, because that also becomes very important in organizing a player's psyche and winding it towards focusing very heavily on the game. The reason why you'd see a lot of clubs focus on the immediate family system of each player or the immediate support system of each player and make sure that they are within a comfortable space that can make the player have the peace of mind to play. Now, Thomas Partey is married. He has a child now. He is settled in London. He's said to be enjoying his time there and really has the peace of mind. And so the conversation is about giving him one more season. There are those who have also suggested, let's give him, another 2 seasons. What do you also think?
Not for me. It's not surprising that the trusted journalists in the UK have started putting out the news that Arsenal are very convinced that they can continue with Thomas Partey. Now, it is not surprising to me because, one, the role of Partey in today's modern football, yes, as coach is here, that's significant technical, tactical role of a tempo controller in the midfield, where you have a player that dictates the pace of how the team transitions, is very, very important. And Partey has that ability naturally. He has the physicality to deal with the defensive transitions. He has the work rate and all the traits to win the ball back and to have the discipline to make the team compact without the ball. And immediately the ball is won in attacking transitions, he has the ability to find the pass. He has the ability to hold on to the ball retention. He has the intuition to know when to pass and when not to pass. So the tempo controller game that he gives to Arsenal is very, very significant. Secondly, Arsenal knows Partey's worth. That is why he's one of the highest paid players in the team, even as an African. And if you look at how Arsenal engineered getting Partey from Atletico Madrid, you understand how important he is to the Arsenal team. Now, the only time Arsenal grew a little bit worry of Partey was his injury track record. And they told him specifically that he must do something about it and stay fit if he really wants to merit a contract extension. And that was one of the reasons why Partey was kind of looking after himself very, very well, being somehow selective with some of the games that he will play for the national team and all that. Now, we shouldn't also forget that the new sporting director of Arsenal, who is Andre Berta, had worked with Partey at Atletico Madrid. So he knows him way, 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 way too well. And they speak a lot of Spanish in there. Partey is one of those Arsenal players that can speak Spanish very, very well. So Mikel Arteta is Spanish, and now the sporting director is someone who is also coming from Atletico Madrid, his former club. So Partey convincing the Arsenal team with his performance, with his relationship with the hierarchy, and how he has been able to look after himself to convince them that, look, this guy can give us 1 more year or even 1 + 1 year wasn't so surprising to me. For me, I think at 31, I don't know what is on his table, but if there are also monies from the Saudi League, that I will advise my Ghanaian brother to consider it in a way, because whatever must be achieved in Europe, whatever presence and recognition as a top player, for me, Partey has achieved in the Spanish League and in the English Premier League, and even on the continent in games like the Champions League and the rest. The rest is for him to start making very, very good money towards his retirement, and this will be the right time if there are offers on his table from the Arab world. He should start considering those kind of moves. That turns towards more financial gains than playing at the highest level now.
Okay, so I really get you, Ayala. I really am vibing with you right now. We are on the same page. So what I get from you, correct me if I'm wrong, is that, you know what, stay and finish this season, and you have to win the Champions League. After winning the Champions League, then you can effectively look at, or you can fully place your eyes on, the Gulf and the Arab space, so that you can go and make some money, right? Because winning the Champions League will become very, very important in whichever decision will be made going forward.
If he's able to win the Champions League, that will mean that it will facilitate his decision so easily. Then it will mean, look, I came here, I have won you your biggest trophy that you were waiting for as a club. I have done whatever it is that I can do for you. You can do more than winning the Champions League for Arsenal. So if he's able to win it with his significance in the team and the kind of impact that he has given the team, that will make that decision to move elsewhere very, very easy for him. But for me, Nat, when was the last time Arsenal played in the semi-finals of the Champions League? When was the last time that in the last 3 seasons Arsenal are always in the conversation for contenders of the Premier League? That is the kind of impact Partey has given a team like Arsenal. And for me, whether the Champions League arrives or not, for me, he has really and duly represented himself at the club, and he will be considered and remembered there. And if only if there are offers on the table from a place like Saudi Arabia, he should consider it, just for the monetary terms, his age and how he will retire from football. Not.
Charlie, I want to send big greetings to all of the Arsenal fans who are all loyal listeners, very good friends of ours. Two of my godfathers in town. One of them is Reverend Nathaniel Attoh, the MD of Omni Basic Bank. He is a sworn fan of Arsenal. He lives, breathes, eats, and drinks Arsenal. And also Mr. Onwuzurigbo, who is the managing director of Zenith Bank. He has a signed Arsenal jersey in his office. So this Arsenal business is no joke. But you know the funny thing, guys, the last time Arsenal played in a final of the competition, I'm not sure I was even married, and now I have 3 children. Oh, Charlie. But this time, I mean, let's come to you, Coach. Look, it's a good time. It's sure it's going to be a very, very tough task. There's no doubt about that. But I just believe that this is the time when Arsenal, must just stand up, rise to the occasion, and just win it.
No, it's not going to be that easy, though. I think it's going to be more tougher. Mentally, Arsenal has got confidence, obviously beating Madrid for the 2 legs, so they're confident. But in terms of a team, structure, transition, movement, off the ball, on the ball, Paris Saint-Germain is playing at a very, very, very high level. So it's going to be a very uphill task for Arsenal. But then also Arsenal at this moment, the season is done. Liverpool can just win the Premiership tomorrow. And so the whole focus of the club tilts towards the Champions League. And with the confidence they have now, they can also spare on to do more against Paris Saint-Germain. Mind you as well, Arsenal can equally hurt Paris Saint-Germain when they have to. But it's just a matter of who is playing at what level. I think at this moment we know Paris Saint-Germain as a team, in terms of from defense to midfield to attack, they're more well structured as a team. And so I see those 2 games as Arsenal will be slightly a bit defensive and Paris Saint-Germain will be on the offensive. So should they take the advantage of that in the first leg or in the second leg, that's what we're all yet to see. But then in terms of the 2 teams, it will be good football, be very open, because PSG do not defend that much. They like to go all out. They like to play more open. They will use the flanks more and more, and they'll try to control the games from the midfield. They also like to double their fullbacks, play high the pitch as well. So that will be one of the things Arsenal can capitalize on with Saka Dems, on the counter attack. So that would be where the balance is. Thomas Partey importance with Rice especially, and I've been much impressed with Timber, Rice and Thomas Partey throughout this campaign. I think these 3 players have stood out, and Skelly as well, young Skelly, sometimes a bit hesitant and very quite young, and so he rushes into tackles and stuff like that. Hopefully he keeps his composure, and then Arsenal do not go a man down. because this PSG team you see is moving very, very dangerously, and I think that the yardstick for this season's Champions League wasn't Madrid, because Madrid, got this far only because of the quality they have, but not as a team. So Arsenal shouldn't look at this Madrid's game as the yardstick, because truly speaking, the yardstick for this season is the likes of the PSGs who are playing really, really, really well. So it will be a very tough game. Also, on Thomas Partey, I think that Partey should stay one more year in Arsenal. Yes, the money is good. He has a young family. His wife just gave birth not too long ago. And then he would like to consider the family aspect of the young child, getting a bit of education here in the UK. So for 1 year, I think it will be very good for Partey to stay. Also for the young child, formation of the family, it will give them that balance. He can go next season, after next season, into the Saudi area for the man. The man is always there. If he wins the Champions League, it actually even helps him more, because they want to bring in champions and good names into the league. So that will be a very exciting time for him as well. But it's still a very open game. PSG, Arsenal, PSG.
Wow, PSG, Arsenal, PSG. Well, a very intense couple of days coming up. And of course, you know how we are going to view that game. It will be something else. The biggest viewing spectacle in the capital city, or any part of West Africa for that matter, the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey event, which will be the official outdoor viewing event in the whole country. And this is powered by the Multimedia Group, headlined by Hits 103.9 FM and Joy Sports with massive support as well. All right, gentlemen, we're heading towards the finish line. Let's just see if we can get a few people in to contribute as we get ourselves ready to wrap up the show. 0302-216-541, 0302-216-541, and 055-1111-997, 0302-216-541, and 055-1111-997. Now, remember that as we build up as well to the big final of the UEFA Champions League, we're going to be bringing you the Pub Series events, the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey Pub Series events, and the first of them will be on Tuesday. It is Arsenal versus PSG, and that's the game that Passionate Man just mentioned. It will be at 7 p.m. and this will be at the Palms by Eagles, which used to be the Holiday Inn Hotel. I've been there. It was amazing, and Fent, who has just joined me here in the studio. Fent, we had Israel's father's memorial reception there. It's a very
nice.
Plush place. Yeah. Looking very
they
good.
Renovated it. Yeah,
it's looking
Some people
amazing.
acquired it from Holiday Inn.
Yeah,
and then turned it into
the Palms by Eagles.
From what was a budget hotel into an exquisite edifice.
Very well. So we're watching the game together. Friend, so. Yeah. I know you've been to the bar already. The smooth sleep bar,
I've
the
been
lounge.
Everywhere.
Yeah. The lounge
everywhere.
especially.
We're going there because I said we should go there.
And then on Wednesday as well, it will be Barcelona going up. In that very, very big game.
Against Inter Milan.
Inter Milan. Inter Milan, the last time they won it was under Jose Mourinho. There was a Sule Muntari in there as well. It was a great time for us in Ghana. But can they get a good one over Barcelona?
And that year, they knocked out Barcelona in the semi-finals at this very stage.
Exactly. So, a very interesting set of events we're looking forward to in the UEFA Champions League, isn't it?
Yeah, that's at the HR residence, the last game you mentioned.
Very well.
Dan Soman.
Very well.
I think he didn't specify that venue.
Yeah,
it's a rooftop. It's amazing.
Very well.
It's got great views. So that's what will be on Wednesday. Chitama Claude and Cranting will be on commentary duty. The whole Joy Sports team will be there. Yourself, myself. So we'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the final, of course, May 31, Aviation Social Center is a massive deal. The Kiss FM Rep Your Jersey, as you rightly indicated, is the biggest single viewing event anywhere in the world. We have like 5,000, 6,000 people in the same venue just to watch one football game. And it's not just the football game, it's everything else that happens before the game. Starting from like very early in the day, all the chinchinga, the five-a-side, the basketball, the mingling, and all the chilling, and all the start the quiz, the giveaways. It's a whole day of fanfare, and that's why people love it. So we're building up to it with these two events on Tuesday and on Wednesday, and then the following week in the reverse fixtures as well. We will do 2 more outdoor events before
the big day. We've been talking about Thomas Partey and the life ahead of him.
I'm coming from
Arsenal.
GOC election.
I know, Pa. We'll
People
talk
are
about
crying.
that. I know. I will talk about that before we wrap up. But very briefly, how good would it be and look, if we have an Arsenal final, for the UEFA Champions League for Hits FM Rep Your Jersey?
I mean, it would be great because then the Ghanaian interest obviously would mean that there is added interest and added motivation for people to want to be there. So, I think that if Arsenal do make the final, it will make this even bigger because of the Ghanaian interest. Obviously, you mentioned, look, I say this and people get surprised. Ghana is a country with the most Champions League winners in the whole of Africa. And most people don't even know this, that Ghana, out of all the 54 countries in Africa, has the most Champions League winners. If Thomas Partey were to win it, that would make Ghana outright leaders. Because at the moment, we have 5 Champions League winners who are all living. Baby in 93, Ibrahim Tanko in 97, Sami Kufuor 2001, SN 2012, and then
Montari.
Montari 2010. Exactly. That's 5. The closest it is Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire.
Have you forgotten Marcel Desailly?
Thank you. Hope you can add him.
And I mean,
AZ Milan in 94. I mean, you can add him if you want. But, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you look at Cote d'Ivoire, they have 3. Nigeria have 3. Finidi George, Nwango Kano with Ajax, and then Mikel Obi in 2012. That's it for Nigeria. For Cote d'Ivoire, it's Solomon Kalou and Didier Drogba in 2012, and then you have Yaya Toure with Barcelona in 2009. So that's it. Ghana is an incredible hub of Champions League winners, and so if Arsenal were to make the final, there's no counting against them.
Amazing stuff there. Fentu Tahiru Fentu here, and I'll give you the final word because we're going to wrap up on the note of the just ended Ghana Olympic Committee elections. But let me just give
GFA president
has been elevated. Yes, so we'll talk about that before we wrap up in the next 3 minutes. So, coach, final words before we wrap it up in the next minute.
Well, I think Arsenal, PSG, big game, very open game. There's a lot at stake. I don't think it's a very definite 100% game for PSG or Arsenal. Quite very open. Depending on those two teams who's going to take the chances. The battle duels will be in the wide areas. The best players of PSG have always operated from the wide areas, the Dembeles, and they're going to come through there. And so the pressure will be on the fullbacks, Timber, and also the left backs. And it was also same going to be Saka on the other end, and then maybe Trossard or whoever's going to play on the wide area. So it's going to be more a very exciting game. Let's hope that Thomas Partey live up to expectation in that game. I think at this level, his confidence, he's arrived at the season at a very, very good time. His level is very, very good. Physicality is all right. He manages his injuries throughout the season very, very well. So hopefully, I'm sure Fentu is going to be happy when he sees Arsenal win.
Amazing stuff there. Let's just go to Bismarck Owusu-Bempah Ayala to also give us his final word in the next minute as we wrap up the show.
Nat, the way you are happy and really looking forward to Arsenal winning the Champions League is very, very exciting. For me, Arsenal has beaten Paris Saint-Germain this season in the Champions League. So doing it again wouldn't be a problem. Just that there are 2 things. Partey will not be playing the first leg, which will be a big blow to Arsenal. And the Paris Saint-Germain team they beat isn't the same now. They look really juvenile and they look more focused and more difficult to beat now. But should Arsenal beat Paris Saint-Germain in the 2 ties and make it to the final, Nat, Arsenal will win the Champions League. If they do get to the final, probably even against my team Barcelona, I will tip Arsenal winning the
Charlie,
league.
but this is where I'll say thank you very much. See, Minya Ayala is okay. See, you people, you've enjoyed. Allow others to also enjoy. I didn't ask for who you know.
No, but if I see that, then Champions League, you have to earn it.
I know. You don't worry.
I don't have to give it to you to enjoy. But
see,
once you
Ayala, I'm a Chelsea fan, but you see, me, we are all, let's all rally round. Don't worry, you will talk. We'll talk. Thank you very much, Ayala. Gentlemen, I'm coming back to you in the studio, so we wrap it up real quick before Kwame Dazi takes over. Kwame Dazi is here with some sunglasses, Charlie, some wild sunglasses there. You should have served in the military, you know.
I want to be a pastor though.
Hey, this subject.
Also for Dazi.
Yeah. You know, Fento wanted to go and sing, but I prevented him because
Sing where?
Yeah, he wanted to sing in one of the.
You know that
He
I
wanted
was
to sing
invited
at
to
his
the
wedding.
Pope's funeral.
Yeah.
But they say at the Pope's funeral they don't sing. So I saw the whole funeral they didn't sing.
I would like to sing in my church.
Charlie, so this subject about instrumentalists in church getting
It's a
That
very
Yeah.
controversial topic.
You want my opinion on it?
Tell me in 1 second, in 10
Why
seconds.
should they not be paid? Do you understand?
Why should
they
they be
didn't just sleep and wake up to become instrumentalists? They spent training is not free. They spent money in building their craft. It's an investment they made in themselves. Okay,
Are
it's
they
a
not
talent.
supposed to serve God, to worship God? Is it not what?
Why? Then why do pastors take collection?
They know they pay pastor.
Well, but you know,
why are pastors?
there's also the conversation about churches investing in these instrumentalists and helping them to grow, giving them the platform as well. What do we say about that?
I think the conversation wasn't even just about instrumentalists. They said nobody should perform as
Is it
a church.
musician?
Musicians.
It could be
It wasn't just
instrumentalists. It could be
instrumentalists.
singers.
Musicians should not
could be composers,
perform at the church
directors.
and then collect money. Yeah,
Charlie, well,
Do you understand?
There are many angles to this, and we'll
Yeah.
be discussing that today on Showbiz A to Z.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But you know, Kwame Dazi, we have to go to London together for the Four Nation tournament.
Kwame Dazi is not going.
You know,
Kwame Dazi has other things to do.
Fento has
He's going
reserved
to-
some joint. There's some joint where they do some Ghanaian food in London.
Hey,
Yeah, so we'll eat a bit
you
of
see
jerk,
when you mention food,
jerk
no,
chicken,
you see,
jerk
say-
chicken, and the wachi like rice.
Natino. That Kwame Dazi is not going. He's
Why?
going to Cape Coast. He has things to do there.
We'll do a special broadcast of Showbiz A to Z in Cape Coast. Well, we're very grateful to you and expect more from the reactions from the elections that have been held from the Ghana Olympic Committee. We'll be hearing from the president, the newly elected president, Mr. Richard Akpokhavi. We'll have a sit down with him as well. And of course, we'd like to say congratulations to him. Congratulations to the newly appointed second vice president of the Ghana Olympic Committee. We're very grateful to all of you. Thank you so much for doing the listening. We'll be back next weekend with another Joy Sports Link. Kwame Dazi and the rest of the team will take over at this time. The most expensive DJ, the highest paid DJ in this side of town, takes over with some music as well as we bring you Showbiz A to Z right here on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nathaniel Attoh. Have a wonderful afternoon.